Hello, everyone. This is Manolo Concepcion talking to you from Illinois, here in the United States of America. Born and raised in Puerto Rico, and started with this program a couple of months ago. And we are the Volley Junkies. Remember that you can follow me through my Facebook page and also through the YouTube page. Saludos, amigos, a todos los hispanos que nos quieran ver y tratar de traducirlo al español. Pueden conseguir este programa en YouTube. Recuerda que hay traducción para todos los idiomas alrededor del mundo. And for the ones watching us in English, you guys can enjoy this on Facebook Live, and hopefully you get to know a lot more about Eastern European volleyball today, because we are honored and privileged to have one of the best coaches in the world as well, someone that has built this program from scratch, Mr. Zoran Terzic, who is the Serbia national team head coach. Zoran, how are you, sir?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Zoran. And the first thing that I want to ask you is, how are things in your country with the pandemic, and how do you think it's going so far?
Well, okay, in Turkey, what we can see, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Not a very bad situation, but in Serbia, unfortunately, worse and worse every day. So, I don't know. Tomorrow we will go with our team to preparation on one mountain a few hours ago from Istanbul to run from Corona. Yeah. 10 days, and okay, it's difficult, of course, but we need to start to work and to wait for some good news. This is it.
Mm-hmm. Agree, Zoran. Again, we're talking with Zoran Terzic. He is the Serbian national team head coach. He also coaches one of the best clubs, professional league clubs in the world, in Turkey, Fenerbahce. So first of all, before we go into the Serbian national team and your current pro league team, I want to ask you, you played and coached at the famous Serbian pro team, Red Star. Tell me, why is Red Star so important for your country, and what do you think it makes it special?
It's I don't know. Let's try to explain like this. Why it's Real Madrid so special in Spain or Barcelona or Fenerbahce in Turkey? This is Red Star in Serbia. This is the best club with a lot of fans. Almost, I don't know how many percent of Serbian people, they are fans of Red Star. And doesn't matter which kind of sport. Football, of course, in the first place, basketball, volleyball, or anything else. You are in Serbia privileged if you are member of the Red Star. Yeah? So I had a player first in a Red Star. After that, I started to be coach of men cadets and junior team. And after that, it happened something. Then my career started to go to another way, and everything going down in my life. It means I changed. I started to work with women, correct? President of my club, he was also president of Serbian Volleyball Federation in that moment. Now he is the president of CIV, Mr. Boricic. He asked me one day, okay, do you want to be a coach of, do you like to be coach of women team? And I said, Katerina, no way. Because in that time, really, I don't like to see women volleyball, to see the game or to no, never.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, it was another sport, not even close to men volleyball. And I like
Mm-hmm.
to work in men volleyball. I feel very comfortable in men volleyball. But, you know, he is finally president of my club and president of federation. And finally, I start to work with women. Uh, I worked maybe few months, not more. It was year 1999.
Mm-hmm.
Start to work after New Year. In March, start bombing. So
Mm-hmm.
everything was closed, championship and everything else, and I was the only one person in Serbia who lucky because of bombing because I don't want to work with women anymore. So, okay, I'm joking, of course, but it was almost like this. And after that, when next season competition continue, the girls come to authorities. They say, okay, they work very good with him. We learn a lot of new things and blah blah. And he decided to keep me on that place. And this
Mm-hmm.
it was 1999, so 22, 23 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. Zoran, I want to ask you, and you mentioned what happened at the end of the 90s there in Yugoslavia at that moment. How did that affect you personally and your family and the people around you? Like when you realize what's going on, how does this shape people like you and the athletes and coaches and everyone?
Oof. Uh, Believe me, in the first period, it was like, okay, it's not happened. It's some fantastic movie and it will be passed in 2 hours and this is it. Believe me, everybody was in that kind of, because practically 21st century, one country in the middle of the Europe to practically be bombing and everything else, it was, I don't know, really, really very, very strange. And but after that, we realized then this is it, what we can do, and we start to come back and to work like okay. I cannot say never happened, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, maybe you hear time to time Novak Djokovic. He speak about this a lot. Then that time was make him much stronger. So
For sure.
with everybody, especially in sport, is the same situation. Practically, maybe this is the one of the reasons, of course, not the main reason, but one of them. Then Serbian sportsmen, they play very good under the pressure,
Mm-hmm.
play with a lot of courage, and they never give up.
Do you think that that's what created that type of sense of being like a warrior, basically? There's so much competitive, there's so much hunger to get better. Did it come from that, from being from surviving basically war around you?
Definitely, definitely, and okay, with all bad things then coming with the war, this is, I can say, one good thing. Then we definitely start to be stronger. We start to think in another way, and practically, you know, after that, some players they need to go to I don't know preparations. They are
Mm-hmm.
going out from the home. They have two practice per day. Okay, it's not easy. Oh, come on. If we compare with period of 99, it's not easy.
It's incredible, Zoran, how just in 20 years
So everything for us start to be amazing when we start to play, when we start to go out from our country and play some games with teams like not Brazil, not China, not USA, with Bulgaria, Hungary, Romania. It was amazing for us. Believe me, it was really amazing. And step by step, we are coming when we are now.
Zoran, players that you used to coach now were your opponents, right? So with time, in the beginning of Yugoslavia, you had the whole group, and then it became Serbia and Montenegro, and then Serbia.
No, because when I was coach of Yugoslavia, Yugoslavia was just Serbia and Montenegro.
Okay, got it.
So, girls I never worked in national team, of course.
Yeah.
With girls from Croatia, Slovenia, Macedonia, and next. Just Serbia and Montenegro. Okay, Montenegro, it was maybe one or two maximum. Practically all girls was from Serbia.
For sure. And what are some things that, since you got there, what are some of the training principles that you brought to the national team? When you got there, what are some things that identifies your team as unique for you, Zoran?
I don't know if it's unique, but definitely we have some, how to say, rules, or I don't know. If you want to play for Serbian national team, first and most important thing, then you want to play. Without any doubts, without any excuses, without no. This is what, if you want to play, really want to play with all your heart and all your soul for Serbian national team, welcome. In any other case, no. Doesn't matter how good player you are or not. No, this is the most important thing. And after that, of course, some volleyball things, some things about attitude, I don't know, when we make some rules, then okay, rules. I think any other coach have almost the same rules in the team. Yeah. For example, I said also no excuses. This is the one of most important thing in our national team. It means if you play bad, cannot be somebody or something guilty because of this. I don't know, coach or lights or ball or wind or whatever. No, cannot be. This kind of things is not available. Definitely not. And of course, some other things like because I when I start to work with women, of course, also the national team, it was my direction, something like my direction. Okay, we will play like a man. This is also the rule in Serbian national team. For example, I don't know, in transition, in counter-attack, after some defense, very difficult defense, and pass, in zone 4 or zone 2, if some of my players keep this ball, going out from the hole immediately, not from the court, from the hole, and they cannot go back next 3 days. This is the rule. This is the rule.
Love it.
With a lot of courage, with a lot of risk, something, of course. For example, on 24-24 service, I don't care about mistake. I want to see your best serve, nothing more. Nothing more. These kind of things, and of course some volleyball things, they are important. But okay, all coaches, they are insisting on this. Nothing new.
Zoran, but inside of that system that you wanted to establish for your team, it's right. Like when you watch video of your team, it looks like you have established what what we see in the men's game. You brought it also to your program, meaning that I see a lot of emphasis on hitting with power. There's also good shot selection, which we're going to talk about specific players, of course, like like you have, of course, Boskovic, Blejica. You have so many special players in your program, and I'm really curious of how you develop that. But then also, based on that, based on the fact that you want to create a system similar to the men's game, what are things that you spend the most time on in practice? So, like, how would a practice look like for you to develop these players on who they are today?
Okay. Of course, every practice, I was on the practice on, I don't know, Giovanni or Barbolini or any other good coaches, yeah. And they're okay, similar, but for example, I saw then Giovanni. I watched then Giovanni said then every practice he is doing serve and reception. Everyone.
Yes.
For example, in Serbia national team, it's a different situation, a little bit, of course. We are pay attention a lot about especially three elements. It means defense, pass, and attack. It means phase of the game transition or this phase of the game. Block, defense, pass, counter attack. This is the practically okay, if I can say most important thing. I cannot say more because if you want to be on the top, you must do all kind of elements and both phases of volleyball game on a very high level, of course. But we are doing much more transition. Wow.
Okay.
This is my opinion. Maybe it's wrong, of course. Then opponent team in one game, they can make maybe 30, maybe 40% of perfect reception. So it means 60%. It's not perfect reception. Yeah. Plus all attacks after defense. It means transition. It means almost 70% of the balls they are not after perfect reception. Setter is not in a perfect position to set. So a lot. We are doing a lot and we're working a lot. This kind of situation and opponent team have situation and better set the ball from 3, 4, 5 or more meters.
So basically, Zoran, you like to work on situations that are normally uncomfortable for players, but they happen the most in the women's game because the rallies are longer. So you spend a lot of time hitting, when the setter is off the net. You spend a lot of time on good defense that will keep that ball alive for players to take good and hard swings. And then you spend a lot of time also in the serving part of the game. Is that correct, Zoran?
Exactly. And we really try to, because you said now then in women volleyball, there are a lot of rallies. Yeah. We try to make in different way, not be a lot of rallies. Then we finished after defense, we finish the point. Good or bad way, okay. Time to time, it's a good way, time to not. Okay. For this kind of practice and this kind of philosophy, of course, you must have players like Diana Bošković, like Brankica Mihajlović, and this kind of players.
Yeah.
Of course. If I have a different team, of course, I will work much more on some other things, of course. And I will try to keep the ball a lot in the court and play very long rallies, touch the ball in attack, on block, make cover, then make another one attack, and but we never practically do this.
Mhm.
We are doing like this, and every time after defense, we try to finish the point.
So, and Zoran, how do you keep the players, daring to make mistakes? Because that's a style of play that requires players to be very confident, knowing that my coach is going to support me if I make a mistake or not. Because I see a team that is really aggressive. They go for it, and it has made it successful. Putting a lot of power, but then mixing it with good off block or off shot selection. So how do you keep them that confident, Zoran, as a coach? Like if I'm a coach listening to you right now, how do you keep them, daring to make those mistakes?
First and very important thing, then you have mistake and mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I like to say you can make mistake like a player or like an idiot. Yeah. So this is the difference. So
Mm-hmm.
every time on service, if of course if the score is 0-0 or 24-24, I don't care. If the player make her best serve and she make mistake, okay, few centimeters out or touch the top of the net or something like this. I never said, okay, this is bad or I was angry or something. Never.
Mm-hmm.
Or in attack, especially counter attack, never.
Hmm.
But some other things, if we have very easy free ball from another side and we put the ball 2 meters from the net, for me, this is a huge mistake.
That's a bad mistake for sure.
And then I, I don't know. I cannot realize this kind of mistake. Really, this
Mm-hmm.
is for me again out from the hole, yeah, immediately. So this is depending of the mistake. But what I'm doing with my players, for example, on 6-on-6, doesn't matter which kind of the first ball, free ball, or on service, or doesn't matter what you make. No. Okay, point after side out, yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
your point. Block, okay, can be one or two.
Mm-hmm.
First transition, it means defense, pass, and immediately make a point,
Right.
2, 3, or 4 points. So
Mm.
in that moment when she play, in her mind is okay. If I make a point, it's 3 points.
Yes.
If I make mistake, it's just 1 point for opponent team. Or
Yes.
I will take a risk, and I will pick with all my power, and this is it.
So you're rewarding that risk, like you're rewarding with a lot of points, and with watch trail putting more points in that first opportunity.
Maybe you remember semi-final game Rio in Olympic Games
Mm-hmm.
against US team
Mm-hmm.
on 14-13 in fifth set.
Yeah.
Diana Bošković go to make a service, and in that moment I saw her. She was a little bit angry, and she spoke something with herself. I don't know. Okay, I said, what is the problem? I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to put a very easy service on. Okay, who told you this? Okay, some players they say, okay, not mistake, not mistake. I said, okay, Diana, we are working on your jump serve all summer. It means 5 months or more. We are working on your jump service. Now it's semi-final of Olympic Games. 14-13, fifth set.
Mm-hmm.
When you will make your best service, if you will not do it now? When?
Makes
Tomorrow.
total sense. Yeah, it's for now. It's for that moment that you train it for.
Exactly. We try to prepare our players to make a best on that moment, not on 0-0, not on the practice, not on 24-13 or something. No. Exactly. If she make mistake, it's not a problem. Next time it will be no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't make mistake. She make a very good serve, of course.
Okay. And then in the other side of that, by the way, before we go into the next subject, I want to ask you your impression of being there in Rio, knowing that that you're going past the semifinals. Like, tell me about that. Tell me about that feeling of you as a coach. Being an Olympic coach, putting your team in such a good situation. You have coached Serbia for so long. Tell me, how did that feel, Zoran?
Oh, it was mixed.
Yeah.
Uh, we played in quarterfinal with Russia,
Mm-hmm.
Russian national team. We play one very very good game, and we practically killed them. First set was 25-9. So
Mm-hmm.
Russia never lost 25-9. It was really
Mm-hmm.
amazing. We played really very good game, and after the game when we won, all players start to jump on me, on other members of my staff, of course. They were very happy. They're running. Okay, it was very big success for us, and also they were ready for semifinal. Really,
Mm-hmm.
after semifinal game, we won US team.
Mm-hmm.
Not even one player, not even one player didn't jump off us or no, 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 no. They are coming, stay like this, and start to cry.
Hmm.
All players, because Olympic medal for Serbia national team or Serbia Montenegro or ex Yugoslavia
Yugoslavia.
was, I cannot say a dream. It was like I don't know, to go to the moon or something
For
like
sure.
that.
Yeah.
It was science fiction. I don't know. And
Mm-hmm.
the moment then we take the medal, practically, they stop to think about next game and okay, China and everything else. In after Olympics, I was very happy, of course.
Hmm.
We won the medal. It was amazing, really, for us. One Serbia from 8 million, 7, 8 million people won the medal. It was amazing, really. But
Such a
also,
great achievement.
I was a little bit sad
Yeah.
because I really thought that we can win in final if we compare quality of the team. Okay, but for a long term, it was very good for Serbia national team. Then
Mm-hmm.
we lost final of Olympic Games. It was very good for us because
Mm-hmm.
after that, some players like Majo Mjerovic, like
Yeah.
Milan Nasic, like Brankica, like Stefana Veljkovic, they will start to go down. It means not go down. They will not play anymore on high level, but
Mm-hmm.
motivation.
Mm.
They will never be like before.
Yeah. Yeah.
After Olympics, then motivation start to be even more than before. And
Yeah.
after that, it was 3 perfect seasons for us. 2017 European champion, 2018 world champion, and 2019 again European champion. It means now we are waiting for next Olympic Games. I really think and I pray to God to be next. It will be
To
next.
happen after this pandemic, and one of the things that what was also inspiring to see your team in Rio, Zoran, is that you had a mix of really young players that were really important for your program around really veteran players. So I think that that even now, that combination of veterans and then those young players are not that young anymore; they're veterans too. It's going to be a really difficult situation for your opponents to beat a team that is well prepared and a team that has grown a lot from that experience in Rio. How do you work on the development of the younger players, Zoran? Like, how do you make sure that, because what I see is that your younger teams, keep getting better, and then you put them in the women's team, and they fit really well. So, do you have one system for all the national teams from younger to older, Zoran? What do you do to develop that in your country?
Very good question, and my answer now will be very nice if someone from Serbia also they need to listen. Federation and coaches, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we don't have this kind of plan.
Mm.
When everybody work in the same way. Well, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Till maybe I don't know 1 year ago. Okay,
Yeah.
start with this. Before, never.
Hmm.
Coach in cadet or junior national team, they work as they want.
Different.
Yeah, good or bad, but definitely different.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a lot of problems when those players come to national team,
Yeah.
and I need to teach them practically some basic things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say they teach them bad,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't teach them exactly what I need. This is
Yeah.
the problem.
It was
Now
not training for your team. It was training for something different.
exactly. And one more thing, in Serbia, in the last period of I don't know how many years, practically every season or every 2 seasons, one or two young players come to national team.
Mm-hmm.
In the last period of I don't know how many years, zero.
Mm.
Okay, coming Pusha or Milenkovic, but let's be realistic. Yeah? They are not very high level players. Yeah?
Yeah.
They are okay, good players and nothing more. But
Mm-hmm.
players like before Maya, Rasic, Brankica, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
If we will not count Brankica and Bošković,
Yeah.
they are coming from Republika Srpska.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not Serbia. It is, but it is not. Okay, this is political. If we are not count those two players, last player, very high level player who come to national team, it was Milena Rasic 11 years ago.
Wow.
We are in a not a good situation, but we don't have new players, on a high level. But also very strange for me. All the world now, maybe some players will be angry of me, but this is my opinion. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
10, 15 years ago, if someone come to you and say, okay, tell me 10 receivers, you can say immediately, I don't know, Rinieri, Piccinini, Del Core, Sokolova, Artamonova, Costa Grande, Tom Logan, no,
Mm.
immediately without any problem.
Yeah.
On very high level, really
Yes.
high level, like receivers, like attackers, like I don't know, some Natasha Smokrovic, doesn't matter. I forgot a lot of it doesn't matter. Now, in the last period of, I don't know, 10 or maybe more years, I don't know really, tell me,
Hmm.
Kim,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Natalia, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Zhu, I'm not count, Zhu, or Brankica, or not. Okay, Zhu, she's not bad in reception, but she's definitely not a real receiver.
Definitely not a lot of receivers. No, definitely no.
Those kind of players like Zhu, like Košeljeva, like Brankica, they are
Mm-hmm.
practically opposites who are playing on place of receivers, something
Yeah.
like that. Okay, with even a little bit better or worse reception, but Zhu is good
But
enough.
with a good arm, great arm, and yeah, he can
If
score.
we're talking about really good reception, we cannot
Mm-hmm.
find so many. I'm really sorry about Americans. For
Mm-hmm.
example, Watson, Kimberly Hill,
Barge.
Kelsey Robinson, Barch, they are great players.
Mm-hmm.
Great. But I'm not sure if we compare with Sokolova, Tamonova, Rinieri, and I think they are one step less, really, especially if we speak about attack.
So what do you think has changed?
I don't know. Really, I cannot find a reason. Okay, what's that?
Well, I'll tell you, Zoran, that here, for example, in the NCAA university league here in the States, there is less correlation to winning now with good passers. So I'll tell you that some of the best teams in the league are not necessarily the better passers. So it goes with what you're saying, that passing is, it seems like, not as important or related to winning, at least in this league. And you tell me that, and it might be a similar situation where there's so much emphasis in hitting out of system and bringing more power, that I think that, with teams that have speed and power all together and can play like your team, like really good in that first opportunity, even if it is good pass or bad pass, are having the advantage. I think that throughout the years, the power in the game of volleyball with women has changed a lot. So I have seen more power and maybe less ball control. So I think that, do you think that has to do with specialization, and players only playing a couple of positions at the same time? What do you think?
I don't know. I cannot agree with this more power and less ball control.
Okay.
Look at the U.S. national team.
It's great. Yeah, great ball control.
They are perfect. And believe me, I learn much more from the U.S. national team than anybody else.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They are working almost everything on perfect way. Really perfect way. Some things, what I cannot say I don't like, but we are doing different. Just maybe because of the character of Serbian and American players. Just because of this. They're maybe a little bit, how to say in English? Okay, they need to do something on one way. And this is it. This is it.
Yeah. It's one system, one way of doing things.
We improvise much more. Much more. During the game, and because of this, I have fight with Maja Ognjanovic every day on preparation. Because we improvise, and start to be, I don't want to say exactly what. So, but American team, for example, is perfect technically.
Well, I'll say, Zoran, that in the university, there's 15 substitutions. So to be able, I think that they run the same, like similar problem of some of them get into the national team and then they need to start learning other things. Like there are middles that probably has never served a ball in their life, because in the university league,
Libero can make sense.
Yeah. So I think that, as you say, I think that once they get into a national team, great organizational system, lot of emphasis on everyone doing the same things, and I think that has made them the team that definitely they are today. But I'm really interested of how, in your same team, you have very different players, like Blagojevic and then Milenkovic, someone that use a lot of different shots, and then someone that use more power than the other one. Is that on purpose, Zoran, or is that because you allow that creativity of each of those players?
This is
by the way, we're talking to Zoran. Zoran, just 1 second. We're talking to Zoran Terzic, who is making the great sacrifice of speaking English to us today. As you know, his first language is Serbian. So we're really, really grateful for that, because it's been an honor of what you're doing, Zoran. So again, we're really, really grateful. But please continue.
I'm very lucky, believe me, very lucky because I have a lot of players, like you said, very different players.
Mm-hmm.
I can change a lot, not just about change receiver by receiver and this is it, but we can change a lot our system of how we play. Definitely, we can change a lot. So this is definitely something that some other coaches they doesn't care. This is the most important thing. But after that, I told you, same like what I say about courage, about risk, same thing it's about improvisation.
Okay.
Every practice, every game, we give them opportunity to do this
To try it. Yes.
without any problem. If someone make something really special during the practice,
Mm-hmm.
believe me, it was happened not one time. I
Mm-hmm.
stop the practice, and say, okay, finished. Let's go to cafe. I will pay coffee, juice, whatever for everybody, and this is it. Finish the practice. These kind of things for me is the most important thing on volleyball. On why? Because believe me, Serbian team is not so successful because of I don't know very good players. They technically very good. Okay, they are, of course they are. But the most important thing for our national team, we know how to play. When I say to play, it means play like children in kindergarten.
Creativity, there's a lot of creativity in the game that you use.
This kind of game, and we never play like okay, let's go to see the video. This is it. We have to play like this. You need to pass in position one, this, and this. In position two, this, blah, blah. And we never play like this.
Okay.
Never. Because for me, volleyball it's not mathematics. Definitely not mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
Everything can be changed in few seconds. Also, during the practice, my assistants they know very well. Every time you need to have some plan for practice, of course. But believe me, in I don't know, 50% or more of my practices, I change the practice during the because something is wrong, something I don't like, something they are not ready today to do. I change the practice. I make something else because really for me it's not mathematics. And for me, it's very stupid, and I don't like this kind of coaches, really. Okay, coming to the court now, we need to do this and this and this. Reception 500 times, block 300 times, I don't know, some bench press or something 10 times, and here we are doing this, we will stay in the hall. No, why?
You're adapting to the moment of what you see from your players. Okay. And Zoran, how do you keep them all allowing that creativity of each of your players? How do you keep them all within the same system? So if I look at Serbia, what would be things that you don't negotiate on your technical system? What are things that are definitely something that you say, no, it's this way or no other way in your team?
Okay, like I said before, every player have absolutely freedom,
right,
to do some things. But in another way, they need to respect some rules,
right,
and we cannot speak about this. No, this is without any conversation. This is it, and cannot be +1 or -1. No. This is it. And I said it means some things about volleyball, correct? I don't know. What I spoke
you say
block or defense or I don't know the easy ball. You need to put easy ball over the net.
Right.
Over, not close to the net, over the net. Because
Yeah.
we have a player like Maja Ognjenović, then she can catch the ball almost 1 meter over the net. So put the ball over the net every time.
Yeah.
This is the rule. If you are not respect this rule, you cannot play. I
Right.
really don't care. You can make 50 points. I don't care about this. If
Right.
you don't respect the rules, no. Pass after defense. It
Mhm.
must be very high and come to the court.
Mhm.
Not even 1 millimeter out of the court. Can be
Mhm.
1 meter in, can be 2 meter in, 3 meter in, but not
Mhm.
even 1 centimeter out. No.
Mm.
On close to the net.
Okay.
Over the net, it's okay.
Mhm.
3 meters from the net. Definitely not. Never. So
Okay.
these kind of things, these kind of rules, or like I said, no excuses, carriage and everything else.
Mhm.
Some rules, then they must do. They must do like this. This is it.
Mhm. Mm.
In one team, if you have more than one or maximum two players who are like this, they are improved, they are improvised so much.
Yeah.
This is too much. It starts to be like a circus. Yeah. So you cannot do like this. In my
Mm.
team, we have one, and believe me, it's more than enough because it's better. Maja Ognjenović, so it's more than enough. It's
Mhm.
any other player, okay, they can do time to time, but Maya, she's different. Believe
Mm.
me, I work with her from 2002.
Mm. Wow.
It means 20 years. I work with her
Wow.
in national team and also in the club.
Wow.
Try,
So you.
I try a lot of many times. I try to speak with her, to show to her, to make some exercise. Then she starts to play
Mhm.
like she need to play. Uh, if we look at the opponent team
Mhm.
from next week, you need to play like this.
Mhm.
Team,
Mhm.
okay, we need to change something. We will play like this. No way.
Mm.
When she was 18 or now with 30 more, I don't want to say how old she is. Maybe she will be angry of me.
He's older now. Yes. Uh-huh.
She's the same.
Hmm.
Absolutely same. Okay, she's much better now. She's much more experienced. She can recognize a lot of things during the game. She can recognize our players if they are ready or not for ball on 24, 23. She can recognize opponent players if they are good on reception or not. She can do a lot of things about if we compare
Mhm.
before. But this kind, she will never change. She
Hmm.
play on her with her feelings in that moment.
Hmm.
This is it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you try to put her in one canal,
Like in one box in something specific. Yeah.
with some channel, then she can go like this and no left, no right. She
Mhm.
will never be a good player. She cannot
Mhm.
play like this. After after few years, finally I recognized them stupid to work with her that way, and
Mhm.
we work some other things, but setting, okay, this is it. Believe me, she never asked me for 20 years till last year. She never asked me in one moment of the game to look at on me and say, okay, what?
Hmm.
Never, never.
20 years.
First time it was last European Championship, last point against Turkey. It was the first time in her career, and I was really very surprised. Okay, what happened? And I think it is the last time also.
Coach, the last thing I want to ask you is tactically, how do you prepare for matches? Let's. I don't want to talk about anything for the future. Of course, you're preparing for an Olympics, so I don't want you to give anything away. So let's talk about how was your scouting report against China in the finals of the Olympics? Like, what are things that you as a coach wanted them to pay attention to? Do you pay attention to a lot of things? Do you prepare like a big plan, or is it like really, really specific to one or two things throughout the game?
Okay, of course, depending of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The tactic is different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not a very big difference, but it's different. We are doing like this. We give them a lot of information, really.
Mm-hmm.
On video, okay, we are looking. First attack, side out, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Of the team by positions and by, I don't know how to say in English, middle blocker come to tempo or 7 or tempo behind or fast, depending of this also.
Yes, the offensive patterns of the opponent. Yes.
How they play on reception on 3 meters, how they play after defense and everything else. We give them everything.
Okay.
But on video meeting, we are talking about just few very important things.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else they are received on the phone. Everything else.
Mm-hmm.
All from Zhu, how she attack if the ball is very high, how she attack position by position, how she attack from 6, from 4, from everything. Okay, we give them, they can see and see it. A lot of after that, I work with national team 20 years, so I have enough time. This is the most important thing. After that, when I speak with players, I know exactly how many informations she knows and she learned from the game by game. So for the next time, I will take my setter and one middle blocker and one, I don't know, opposite, because I know they want to know, and
More.
they will use this during
Yeah.
the game. Okay, let's speak about this, and we can spend 2 hours without any problem. For some other, okay, 2, 3 informations, it's enough. More than this is it. You have wife at home, correct? And every day you have some small or big fight, correct? You
Yes.
have 14 girls, no, they are not same.
Yeah. Like all of them are gonna get a little bit or a lot of information, basically, depending on who they are, and you adapt. You seem, from what you're saying, coaching everything that of your all the aspects of your team, you seem to be very individual into your approach with your players. You care a lot about, how each of them respond and understanding that all of them are different.
Exactly. Like my coach for physical preparation cannot work with every girl in the same way, or we cannot do this. Doesn't matter when we prepare the game or during the practice or any other.
Understandable. Okay, perfect. Coach, I don't want to take much time from you. I know that you're actually moving from cities today. For the ones that don't know, he coaches also one of the most important teams in the Pro League, Fenerbahce. So the team is moving from cities today to stay safe and healthy from the current pandemic that is going on. I cannot be more grateful for the opportunity that you have given us today to learn more about your country, your approach, your philosophy. Please know, Zoran, that you have open doors here whenever you want to talk more and show us more about your methods. This is your home, and understand that it's been an honor listening to what you had to say about all your players, about your experiences and background. So again, I'm grateful. I'm respectful also of your time. For the ones that want to see this program again, you can watch it on our Facebook page, but also it's going to be in the YouTube channel called Volley Junkies. And remember, for the ones that want, I don't know if there are Serbians watching us, remember that you can also watch it in Serbian because YouTube translates every interview in any language that you want. So when it presents itself tomorrow in YouTube, you can watch it in any language that you are looking for. So again, Zoran, good luck in the Olympics. I hope they happen. And please stay safe there in Turkey. I know you're in a beautiful country as well now. So anything that you want to say to your fans?
Fans from Fenerbahce or for national team?
for both. What do you want everyone knowing about you?
Okay, for my fans from national team, my Serbian people, yeah. Every time I have the same thing to say. It means please believe to us in us because we will never give up and we will every time play for you and blah blah blah. But in Serbia, believe me, it's very difficult because second place, they will start to talk very bad about me and everybody else. So we are a little bit strange, really, about the nation from 8 million people, but we want to be first in everything. This is what we can do.
That's awesome. Thanks again. And what's the best place to go in Serbia right now? Some place that we need to go visit when the doors open again. What is the one place that we cannot miss, Zoran?
Oh, it's a little bit difficult to say one place, but
is there a city in Serbia or a location or a restaurant that you like? Any place that is your favorite?
Speak about restaurant. Okay, Belgrade, and Belgrade is one of the best city if you want to come and for nightlife. It's really amazing. But if you come to Serbia, you need to go south from Belgrade to visit one of our very, very beautiful mountains. Zlatibor, Kopaonik, Tara, or it will be very, very, really very nice, very beautiful. You can find also on the internet, you can see it's really something special.
Perfect. Well, I hope that everyone can go visit one day because it's a beautiful country. I have been there and great people to be surrounded with. Again, thank you so much for this opportunity and for your time. I look forward to talk to you again sometime in the future. And for the ones watching, we will be back next week with another great interview. This has been Manolo Concepcion with the Volley Junkies. And the guest today was Zoran Terzic, the head coach for the Serbian national team, as well as Fenerbahce. So thanks again for everyone watching, and please share. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.